What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. We are back. It is a Monday. It is April 7th. We have technically 11 games. We're going to cover 10 of them, and there's a ton of weather concerns today. So if you've never been to the channel before, welcome for the first time. We break it down. So you can see it's a little bit longer video, but we break down every single game. So we're going to go through every game. We're going to look at all the pitchers, all of the batters, from history, BVP, to how they do batter splits wise, pitcher handedness, everything and in between. After we go through every single game, I'm going to give you all of the top plays that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating or a 9 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. And I did have one of you reach out and ask where you could see these matchup ratings, which I'm going to build out a page to probably today or tomorrow. I know you asked me, but I cannot find where this question was. I thought it was an email, but I cannot find this email. So if you are watching, know that I am responding to you, but I cannot find where you sent me this message. It's been a long weekend. On top of that, after that, we're going to look at some of our favorite props for today. So it's a little bit longer video. We do try to have giveaways every single video, and here's how to win. You got to like this video, you got to be a subscriber to this channel, and you got to leave a comment. If you do all of those and we get at least 50 likes on this video, you will have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. Now, that is a week of all sports, a week of MLB, NBA. There's only 2 games today. I don't know if we'll have any coverage for NBA today. I was about to do the video, and I noticed there's 2 games. We have the Masters on Thursday. We have MMA, and we have NASCAR. If this video gets at least 100 likes, a chance at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass. Now, we've given a ton of yearly passes away to FTA+ since the start of the MLB season. And I waited on this video. I was waiting to see if we'd get 150 likes before I did the video. We got 143 likes. So we are going to have the giveaway there. And the second way to win, somewhere in the video, there'll be a keyword or key phrase. Listen for it, type it in for your second chance at a free week. So we are going to see who the winner is. Even if the keyword is in this first one, we're still going to re-roll it for the keyword. So this is only for getting 100 likes. William Fasanella, congratulations. You won a month on top of the year that you just won the other day, I believe. So William, please email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. And it's that simple. All you got to do is come in here and email us or leave a comment to make yourself a winner. And we're going to re-roll it for this keyword. Lashua. Congratulations. I think this is the first time you've ever won. The key phrase or keyword was some sort of form of pickles. So they're very random words, I understand. So Laz, please email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. In the subject line, say you are the 4-7 video keyword winner, and let me know if you have a username on the website. If you do not have a username on FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, please let me know a username, email, and password. We will set you up for your free week. So that being said, we have so much weather concern today. It's kind of annoying, kind of like yesterday, but it might be worse. We've got a 3-game early slate that starts about 25 minutes earlier than the other games. All 3 of these have weather concerns. Then we have weather concerns in the main slate as well. This is snow. It could be snowing in Chicago. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover all of the games. So we are starting with St. Louis at Pittsburgh. We got Matt Liberatore versus Malinsky. So we're not going to cover the Yankees at the Tigers. This game got moved off of the main slate because it's supposed to be 20 degrees in Detroit or wind chill of 20. So we're not going to cover this game. We're going to cover the 3-game early and then the 7-game main slate. So we are looking at St. Louis at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off of that walk-off win against the Yankees. So seen one time last year, 1-0 record against the Cardinals, 1.29 ERA, 12.86 strikeouts. Like, he did very well in those games. Versus Liberatore, I never trust Liberatore. I mean, and here's what I'll tell you. I'm not always going to be right. Like Tyler Glasnow was one of my favorite pitchers yesterday, and he got lit up early. I don't know if he got hurt. He gave up 5 earned runs. He went 2 innings. Obviously, it's not what you want. But these are just, we're looking at stats. We don't have 2025 stats yet, but we probably gather up about a couple more weeks worth of stats, and then we'll be able to give you guys all of that information. So we look at this, and we can see Liberatore this year so far, 4.50 ERA in one start, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. Did get 11.9, but that is not enough for me. The Angels, you would think, would hit a little bit better against him. They did not, for whatever reason. Pirates, Angels, Pirates, about the same. So we got Ledzinski here. Game log wise, 3.2 innings, 4 earned runs. Did have 4 strikeouts, but has a 9.82 ERA. I'm with the weather concern here. It's a 2-game slate. Pretty much every pitcher's in play, except for maybe these 2. I don't know if I'll even play this early slate just due to how bad the weather might be. Obviously, we're 12 hours from the game time, so it just depends. So we can look at how these teams have done against the team. So against Ledzinski, no home runs, 1 RBI, so not much. But then you can see some of the plays that make sense. So the Cardinals, if they haven't already, depending on if the news has come out, Ivan Herrera is going on the IL after obviously having a really good start to the first week and a half that we've, ton of home runs out of him. He had a ton of home runs, and we know that. But he is out. So you do have Nolan Arenado last year batted .284 with 11 bombs against right-handed pitching. Mason Wynn, .274 batting average with 6 bombs. Alec Burleson, .292 batting average with 18 home runs. Brendan Donovan, .286 batting average with 14. I would look at all these guys. You could look at Ciani as well. I don't know if he'll play. Wilson Contreras makes a little bit of sense as well. So if we are looking at this, feel a little bit good about taking some Cardinals bats there. Whether, probably not going to look at, probably not at all looking at pitching. But on the flip side of that, the Pirates bats against Liberatore, Brian Reynolds has a home run. I mean, that's basically it. But then if you look against left-handed pitching, they don't do as well. So Liberatore for tournaments, because he is 7,800, might be okay with it. I don't know how much I'll have exposure. Again, I'm probably not playing this slate. But if I were to take Pittsburgh bats against him, Brian Hayes makes a ton of sense. 309 batting average last year against lefties. Canario, if he's in there, obviously it's a very small sample size. O'Neal Cruz is there. You could look at McCutchen, Tommy Pham, Brian Reynolds, and Jack Sawinski are all Pittsburgh bats that I would consider. Again, it just depends. Joey Bart could be that one as well. It just depends if he is the starting catcher in this game. So pitching-wise, not my favorite game to look at. With the 3-game early slate, probably you don't have a ton of different options here. Then we got the Dodgers at the Nationals is the next game. Dustin May versus Mackenzie Gore. So we'll look into this one. Another weather concern. Dustin May coming in. A good start against Atlanta. 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. Obviously a huge game after being out, I think, all last year. Tommy John surgery. He is up to 8,800, though. So he has gone up 700 since last week. And then you got Mackenzie Gore. We know that Mackenzie Gore had a huge opening day against Philly. 6 innings, 13 Ks, 38.9. A lot of people were on him for Toronto. I told you probably that was an outlier. Maybe we don't use him. 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. So he had the strikeouts there. But again, 8.1 fantasy points was not enough. Now he's going up against the Dodgers, who we usually like to take lefties against. So in this one, I would look at Dustin May, and I would look at the Dodgers bats. So the Dodgers bats that I would look at, like Kike Hernandez has a home run against him. He'll be a cheap option if you're stacking there. Mookie Betts, 3 for 4 against him. Will Smith is 1 for 3. Teoscar Hernandez has a home run. Then we look at how these Dodgers bats do against left. Now, Austin Barnes, 368 batting average last year. Be a cheap catching option on an early slate. Will Smith, it depends on which catcher's in there. Both catchers for the Dodgers. Whoever is starting, I don't care. I would put them in there if we're stacking them. Mookie Betts, 308 batting average with 4 bombs. You had Conforto, 284 batting average with 6 home runs. Tommy Edman batted 412 last year and 34 at-bats. Teoscar Hernandez is one that we love to take against lefties. 290 batting average, 11 home runs. Ohtani, obviously, if you want to stack the Dodgers, he is always in there as well. So if I were to look at this game, I'm probably off of Mackenzie Gore. You could always throw him in there for tournaments because everyone's going to be stacking the Dodgers, especially on a 3-game early slate. And that is how you would get leverage on the field. The problem is the weather. Let's monitor this. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these games gets canceled or postponed due to weather, that they just get rid of this slate. I could see that. I could for sure see. They've done that in the past. Toronto at Boston, you've got Mr. Dick Fitz versus Easton Lucas. So if we look at Lucas, started against Washington 5 days ago, 5 innings, 3K. So he had 19.5 fantasy points at 4,000. So I did suggest him last week because he was 4,000, because you have to take a flyer on a pitcher. If they could get you, and I said, and I believe I said in that video, if they could get you 5 innings at 4K, probably are going to get you the value that you need for an SP2. They've now bumped him up to $2,000 more dollars. Now he's going up against a Boston team that they're hitting pretty well. Then you got Mr. Dick Fitz here. Postponed the other day, didn't pitch yesterday. So we look at that 2-3 record, 6 innings pitched. Again, if the Dick doesn't fit, you know what you got to do. And I don't think it fits here. I don't think it fits in this lineup. I think we want to stack against it. So what you want to do is we look at pretty much the bats on both sides. I don't trust the pitching here. Weather's a concern as well. So they've seen him basically a total of 1 start, 3 at-bats-ish, kind of. Vladdy coming off of just signing a record, probably a terrible deal. 15 years, $500 million. He's getting paid like $35 million a year between the ages of 35 to 40, something like that. Let me know your thoughts on Vladdy's contract. I don't think it's a good contract. I think that's a lot of money for a future DH, basically. That's what it is. But if we are taking bats against Mr. Fitz, Bo Bichette with 4 bombs, Ernie Clement, not 278 batting average, would be a cheap option. Obviously, if you want to get Vladdy in there, you can. I would look at George Springer as well. 230 batting average last year, but 16 bombs. Santander had 32 bombs. I think a Toronto stack makes sense in this one. But on the flip side of that, Boston bats are in a good spot as well. Basically, they really haven't seen him. I don't trust him enough. Gonzalez would be a cheap option, batted 302 against lefties last year. You could see they really didn't hit lefties as well as they hit righties, though. So Easton Lucas for tournaments, maybe. But yeah, I mean, you still got Gonzalez batted 302, Casas batted 250. Connor Wong could be in there. If Connor Wong is starting, I don't mind him as a very cheap catching option here. Ruff Snyder, I don't know if he'll start, but 302 batting average last year, 8 bombs. You could always look at them. And then you've got your, Trevor Story or your Jarren Duran, Bregman, who's been on fire lately. You could look at all of those guys. But Easton Lucas for tournaments, I think I'm kind of okay with it. I don't love it, but he is a cheap option there, especially on a slate where he's the cheapest pitcher. If you could go both Lucas and Ladzinski, you could probably build a pretty decent lineup, averaging about 4,600 the rest of the way. Again, though, there's so much weather here. We kind of got to wait throughout the day to see if it clears up. Because if one of these games gets canceled, I could see them just removing the slate. So then we're going to move to the main slate. We're going to look at, there's weather concerns in this Miami Mets game. There's weather concern that's snow between Texas and Chicago. And is that it? And that is it. So we do have to kind of pay attention to that. So as of right now, Miami doesn't have, they don't have a scheduled starter. Is this true? It's the day of the game. That's kind of why I waited a little bit. Yeah, they still don't have a starter scheduled. So it's really hard to cover the Mets bats. Senga, a good start last week, 5 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts against Miami. So he just faced Miami his last start. I think it could be good here. I would use him again. And then the Mets bats. But we really can't cover this game because we don't know who the pitcher is for Miami. But if it's the same pitcher as whoever it was last week, then we could look at that. So obviously the bats for the Mets, it just depends on left-handed, right-handedness. So kind of monitor this one. There's weather concern as well, though. But can't really cover that game. Mets bats, lefty pitcher, righty pitcher, kind of wait to see who it is. But we could, theoretically, a Mets stack would make sense. But we'll have all that covered under the simulation and stuff like that. So we do 10,000 simulations before this video, and then we do another 10,000 during the day, and we update the projections and simulations under the MLB tab. Under the MLB tab, we update all of this information usually in the afternoons for you to give you, hopefully, the most up-to-date. Now, with as much weather concern as it's going to be, we're probably going to update. We'll probably wait a little bit to update the simulations and projections till about 3 p.m. Central. So we'll hopefully see any of the news that, if there's a postponement or something like that. So we got Texas at Chicago, Eovaldi versus Justin Steele. Eovaldi's been really good. He was decent against Boston for 25.7, and then he absolutely shoved against Cincinnati. Complete game in there, 8 strikeouts. He's been probably the best pitcher so far this year in 2 starts. Now, 17 strikeouts in 2 starts, going up against Chicago. What is the weather doing in Chicago right now? So as of right now, the weather report has the wind blowing directly in to from center, which has the worst odds for home runs and the worst odds for runs. It could be a low-scoring game. I love Nate Eovaldi today. Nasty Nate is back. As long as he can stay healthy, I'm good to go there. Then you got Justin Steele going up against, so he had 2-ish bad starts, and then the Athletics. I don't like his beard. It's kind of gross. He kind of looks like my neighbor, actually. April 1st, April Fool's, 6.2 innings, 6 strikeouts there, 18.2. A good start against the Athletics. That's the Athletics. They are not as good as Texas. But we can look at this game, and we can check it out and see if they've had success in the past. So we look here. On paper, I'm looking at Nasty Nate 100%. Justin Steele's actually had success against Texas last year. Didn't record a win, but gave up 1.93 runs per 9, 11.57 strikeouts. So he's had success there. Texas bats really have not had success against him. And against left-handed pitching, they really haven't. But if you were to go against the grain and you wanted to stack against Justin Steele, you got like a Marcus Semien would be a cheap second base option there. Kevin Pillar batted .310 last year against lefties. He'd be a cheap option there. You obviously have Wyatt Langford, who can hit bomb. He had a monster home run the other day. He also steals bases, so you're going to get those fantasy points. Adolis Garcia normally he hit better against lefties than righties, but only batted .231. Josh Smith would be a cheap option. I'm okay with those, but I honestly think this could be a very low-scoring game. I like both sides. I would look at Eovaldi probably for cash and tournaments. A little bit more, but Justin Steele for tournaments and cash as well. So I think this could be like a 1-0 or 2-1 game. I want exposure to both sides. Pitching wise, I'm not looking at, as of right now, unless simulations later on show it, I'm not looking at bats in this one. Eovaldi's number 1, and I do like Justin Steele for sure, but I think Eovaldi's a lock here. Minnesota, Kansas City got Michael Lorenzen versus Simeon Woods Richardson. SWR. So Lorenzen comes in, game log against Milwaukee, 5.1 innings, 3 walks, 7 Ks, ended up getting 15.2. So basically, what I've said in other videos, did give up 4 runs, 3 of them earned. What you're looking for pitching wise, 2 to 2.5 times value. What I mean by that is you take the 7,100 times 2 to 2.5. And that's kind of your baseline target wise when you're trying to build out projections, or you're trying to simulate what your pitcher could get. And then SWR here, against the White Sox, 4 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 82 pitches. I don't know why I'm looking. Yeah, I don't know why they pulled him after 82 pitches. Maybe because it was cold and it was opening day. It was April 1st for them. They ended up winning that game against the White Sox. Obviously, 4 innings is not ideal. If you wanted anything, you would be taking you'd want minimum 5 to 6 innings. Against the Kansas City, I don't think I trust it. Lorenzen had success against Minnesota last year, but it looking a little iffy. Now, this is Kansas City. The wind is blowing in. It's got the second worst odds for home runs, and it does have pretty good odds for doubles and triples. But looking at this, it is a pitcher's park. You guys know this. Weather not being a concern here, I'm okay with that. It's probably gonna be cold though. That might be the problem. Obviously, cold games, the ball does not fly out as much. And then Minnesota bats against Simeon Woods Richardson. He went 1-1 last year, didn't strike out very many. So probably in my mind, I would be looking neither pitcher and looking at offenses. So Twins offense against Lorenzen, Miranda would be a cheaper option. Trevor Larnach, Mount Walner, all of those are cheaper options because everyone's going to be on Correa. Everyone's going to be on Buxton if he's in there. But you could get exposure there. You could also look at a little bit of Ty France for first. I think he's first base eligible. 10 home runs last year, 235 batting average. Willie Castro, 8 bombs, 249 batting average. So looking at this, I do not mind a Minnesota stack. But again, the wind is blowing in, so it could be a low-scoring affair. And then you see Kansas City bats against Richardson. No home runs, really haven't had success against him. They really don't have success against righties as much as they do lefties. But if you are to take Kansas City bats, Bobby Witt Jr. is at the top of your list. Home runs, extra base hits, stolen bases is what he does. I would look at Hunter Renfroe, who last year hit righties better. MJ Melendez would be a cheaper option. Michael Garcia you could look at. Salvador Perez had 18 bombs last year, batted 263. I'm okay with them, but honestly, being a pitcher's park, I think Simeon Woods Richardson might be a cheap option, especially at 6,300. I would take him over Lorenzen. But again, pitcher's ballpark, wind is blowing in, not the best weather, might not be a high scoring game. You might go off the wall and go a little Simeon Woods Richardson. Baltimore, Arizona is next. You got Zach Gallen versus Zach Eflin. So Gallen coming in, 13 strikeouts against the Yankees. A huge dominant performance there last week. They ended up winning the game. 101 pitches. So pitch count, early pitch count, doesn't seem to be a problem. Put up 43.2 fantasy points compared to 10 times more than what he put up the first start of the year against the Cubs. The Yankees struck out, I believe, a total of, was it 16 or 18 times in that game? He had 13 of those strikeouts. Now, Baltimore's a good team. Don't expect that, okay? Like, I would expect maybe 5 to 6 strikeouts, depending on this one. It's a dome, and this is Coors Field Jr., so the ball loves to fly out of this ballpark. So it will really just depend on what we've got there. And Baltimore's obviously a really good hitting team. Zach Eflin, on the other hand, kind of ish the same. He dropped down $100 there. He's limited to 5 earned runs and 2 starts. Strikeouts are low for him. 2 against Toronto, 5 against Boston. We can look at if they've had, Gallen last year against Baltimore. 1-0 record, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. So he didn't do very well. He didn't do a ton there. In their career, Rushman has a home run against him. That is it for home runs. Against right-handed pitching, you can see that Gunnar Henderson last year batted 291. Westberg batted 275. Mullins 245. I like all of those guys. Mullins, home runs and stolen bases. He can really bring a lot to the table. Ryan O'Hearn, 264 batting average with 15 bombs. I'm okay with that. Rushman, 12 bombs last year, 219 batting average. You could see if for some reason Rushman is out and Gary Sanchez makes it in, Gary Sanchez is probably, his fall off has to be studied. 2,300 game log wise. Yeah, he hasn't done anything though. That's the problem. He had 9 fantasy points on April 5th, 3 at-bats, 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs, a walk, and a K. Gary really fell out. He was one of my favorite young players on the Yankees, and then, yeah, it just didn't work out. But yeah, if he starts to be a cheap catching option at 2,300, that should go very under-owned. Probably. Batting-wise for Arizona, against Eflin, no one has a home run, a couple RBIs for people. Against right-handed pitching, though, last year they smashed. So you would be like Josh Naylor, 25 bombs last year, batted 251. Suarez, 20 bombs last year, 256. We know this year most of his hits are just home runs. Corbin Carroll did struggle last year, but it looks like maybe that sophomore slump is done. 236 batting average, 14 home runs. Another one that's a dual threat. Multiple home runs a game, can also steal bases in that same game. A couple of cheaper options if you don't want to pay up at other ones, like Pavin Smith, 8 bombs last year. You got McCarthy at 8 bombs as well. Garrett Hampson would be a cheap, believe, second base option there. Right? Second or outfield. And then obviously Ketel Marte is on the IL, so whoever his backup is playing shortstop, probably a cheaper option as well. So pitching wise, I'm probably looking at Gallen over Eflin, but honestly, I like both of these offenses here. Houston at Seattle, Logan Gilbert versus Hayden Wesneski. Logan Gilbert coming off 2 really good starts. One against the Athletics, one against Detroit. Went 5 innings against Detroit. Gave up 3 earned runs, but still had 10 strikeouts. So the 3 earned runs, 5 innings, still had 21.7. Still got over 2 times value. He's now bumped up 500 from last week. And then you got Wesneski, former Cub. 5 innings last week, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks, 13.7. Not enough. We didn't hit 2 times value, but Seattle loves to strike out. That's the thing. Seattle's one of the top strikeout teams last year, and I'm very curious how they are doing this year. So we will definitely look at that and see. So looking at this, he didn't do much, but Seattle loves, like I said, big strikeout guy. We can always look at that. I'm kind of waiting 2 weeks to see the teams that strike out the most this year. But Seattle this year, striking out right 16th in the middle. They're averaging about 8.5 strikeouts a game. So not a ton of stats right now. The 3 teams that strike out the most so far in 2025, the Rockies at 10.89, Washington at 10.67, and the Giants at an even 10 overall. So about a month's worth of data, and then we'll bring back the segment Pitches Be Crazy. And what that is we look at like the top 5 teams that strike out the most, and then we give you the pitchers against them. So overall, if you were to go off last year's numbers, Wesneski at 7,500, because Seattle does strike out, you could look at them. I don't mind him, but Logan Gilbert's obviously that number 1 there, and he's very expensive. He is the most expensive pitcher on this slate overall. So if we were to look at just the offenses in this game, see if anyone's had success against him. I don't know if they have, so we'll look at that together. The key word for today is going to be daily. This is Keith in my coffee cup. If you don't know who Keith is, you need to educate yourself. So Logan Gilbert last year did face Houston 3 times at least. 1-2 record, 360. He didn't have good stuff. That might tell me right there that I might not want to use him because he's very expensive. So if you were to go against the grain, you can see that Christian Walker has a home run against him. Jordan has a home run against him. He finally hit his first home run yesterday. Altuve has a home run against him, batting 355. Leading off, wouldn't be surprised if he hits a leadoff one. Yonder Diaz has a home run as well. Against right-handed pitching, DeZenzo batted 293. Dubon 277. Those would be 2 cheap options if you are stacking. I would also put in, if I am stacking Houston, I put those guys for cheap options. I'd go Jeremy Pena, I'd go Jose Altuve. I'd also go Jordan as well. And then Wesneski against the Mariners, like Jorge Polanco has a home run. Solano batted 400, but that's in 2 at-bats. Cal Raleigh, 2 for 2. Cal Raleigh last year, 234 batting average against right-handed pitching. Big dumper. I do like him here, 21 home runs. Rowdy Tellez would be another lefty-righty matchup here, 248 batting average, 11 home runs. Luke Raley would be a very cheap option, 255 batting average, 20 home runs. Victor Robles, I don't think he's been put on the IL as of yet, but he was carted off with his shoulder. It looked bad yesterday. J-Rod, 275 batting average, 14 bombs. Those are the guys I would look at. So I don't know if I'm looking at pitching in this one. I kind of like Houston bats because I think the casual DFS players are going to see Logan Gilbert at the top. and be like, oh, well, he must be good. And he's averaging 25.1. Did not have success against Houston last year. Houston's offense is waking up. I would stack against him. It would make sense, and you're probably going to be up on the field more than you wouldn't. So the next game, we've got Cincinnati at San Francisco. This is a pitcher's ballpark. You got Logan Webb versus Hunter Green. Now, with the ballpark, Logan Webb, 26.8 at Houston, 9.9 at Cincy. Did not have a good start. Did face this team opening day. 3 earned runs in that game. No home runs, but that is not the best pitcher's ballpark. He's now gone up 1,000. He's the same as last week. Houston, 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, no walks with 1 earned run. So 26.8. So we know that Cincy's a really good hitting team at home. How they do here on the road, this is a massive ballpark for pitching. Then you got Hunter Green. We did take him in San Francisco last week. 20.9 is what he got us on opening day. 27.4 is what he got us last Tuesday in Texas. He's been pretty good. Cheaper option. In this ballpark, give me all the Hunter Green. Love me some Hunter Green today. Not really looking at offenses at the moment. If any offenses jump out, we'll look at that with the simulations. But again, yeah, they really haven't done anything against Logan Webb in their career. They're okay. Against right-handed pitching, they do hit right-handed pitching better. Candelario, 17 bombs. Ellie De La Cruz with 19. So with these gaps in this ballpark, if Ellie could get a hit in the gap, he could get an inside the park home run. He could. I would not be surprised. Gavin Lux, 10 bombs. Friedel, 11. Obviously, Gavin Lux has been in this ballpark a ton, being with the Dodgers when he was. So I'm still looking at Hunter Green, though, for sure. And then San Francisco bats against Green. Willie Adames has 2 home runs. Elliot Ramos has 1. That's it for success against him. Against right-handed pitching, Yastrzemski with 18 bombs. Ramos with 12. Jung-Ho Lee you could look at. Willie Adames last year, 271 batting average, 28 home runs. And Matt Chapman, 245 batting average, 21 home runs. If I were to take San Francisco bats, those would be the ones I'm looking at, but I do like me some Hunter Green today. And then the final game we're going to cover, San Diego at the Athletics in a minor league ballpark. We've got Michael King versus Severino, former teammates, facing off against each other. Sevy last year against San Diego, 1-0 record, 1.8 ERA, 9 strikeouts in that game. Against Severino, Hayward has a home run, but I wouldn't use him. Tatis has a home run, but that's it. Against right-handed pitching, though, San Diego does hit. They hit better against righties and lefties, so you could look at Machado, batted 280 with 22 bombs. Merrill had 19 bombs, batted 311. Tatis with 19 bombs, batted 293. Those are my top 3 bats that I would look at. Luis Ariz, maybe he's coming on a little bit, coming back here. Cronenworth, 255 batting average. Probably it there for bats-wise. I don't know if I trust Sevy, though. And I don't really know this ballpark for what it is. If I look at ballpark factors, wind is blowing out in this game. So that tells me maybe we stack the game bats-wise over pitching. Then Michael King against this team, he's had success against right-handed pitching. Langoliers hit 21 bombs last year. Blade hit 14. Brown hit 13. Butler 17. And Brent Rooker 29. Those are all the bats that I would use. But if we look at Michael King here, game law-wise, coming off a huge game against Cleveland, 34.9. Against Atlanta on opening day, only went 2.2 innings. 4 walks, 76 pitches, and they pulled him. He is 9,200, though, now. So I think he will be owned. But I think if you want to go get exposure over the field, athletic bats make a little bit of sense. Now, I don't know the data between what players do the game after leaving, or the series after leaving Coors, because that is obviously a prolific hitting ballpark. That's also another factor you got to think about. Weather should not be a concern here. And then Sevy this year, good starting in Seattle. They struck out a ton last year. Back-to-back games with 6 strikeouts, but the walks have been a problem. And he gave up 6 runs, 5 of them earned against the Cubs. that was in this ballpark as well. So we kind of watched this. He's had one good game and one bad game. And now he's going up against a San Diego team that just smashes righties. I would look at San Diego a little bit. And there you have it. That is your complete breakdown of all 10 games that we are playing, except the Yankees game, which is the showdown game. If you want to check out more content, FTA Plus is $10 per week, $30 for a month, $199 for a year, but we still have 2 spots available. If you email me right now, you can get it for $99. I'll let you know how if you email me. So that being said, you guys are here. You wanted to see all of the batters have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating, and there are only 8 batters. We're going to give you 9 out of 10 as well, but there's only 4 or 5 9 out of 10 batters as well. So looking at this, we can definitely see. But matchup wise, here are the top batters. We got Aaron Judge, number 1. We're not playing that. It's an early game. Number 2 is Bobby Witt Jr. Number 3 is Jonathan India. Number 4 is Vladdy. 5 is Alex Bregman. 6 is Salvador Perez. 7 is Carlos Correa. And number 8 is Rob Refsnyder. So we look at those. Those are your 10 out of 10. Then your next ones, number 9 is Fernando Tatis Jr. 10, Mookie Betts. 11, Jackson Merrill. 12, Michael Garcia. And 13 is Alejandro Kirk versus Mr. Dick Fitz. So those are all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 and 9 out of 10 matchup rating. I'm going to build out a page today and integrate that into the website to show you. It's probably going to be like MLB DFS matchup tool or matchup rating or something. I don't know what I'll call it. It will be under the MLB tab, though. It'll be part of the premium content. So we're giving you, in these videos, we give you that free stuff. So if you want to see it, it will be under the MLB tab. Then we kind of look at this, some of my favorite bets today. So if people love to take home run bets. So these are the ones that are the top bats as of now through 10,000 simulation. So number 1 is Aaron Judge versus Casey Mize. 2 is Shohei Ohtani. 3 is Pete Alonso. 4 is Cal Raleigh. And 5 is Jackson Merrill. So those are some of the standout batters that have success, history, ballpark, weather factor, all of that through simulations. Those are the home runs that we are projecting out. If you want to look at that, and then that's, if you like that, let me know. If you don't care about the betting aspect, let me know that as well. So yeah, that's what I've got. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let us know. If you want to see more sports bets, you want to see likely players to hit home runs, record hits, or 2+ bases, let me know that as well. So good luck in this weird kind of 2 slate day with a ton of weather concerns. We will be back for tomorrow's video, so check that out. Normally when it's a normal day, I'm able to get the next day's video out about 20 minutes after the day's main slate locks, for the most part, as long as we have everything. And don't forget, this is Masters Week. We've got a ton of things for you guys. I'm very excited to bring you as much as we can. I don't know if I'll have any NBA content today because there's only 2 games, so that's definitely something to look at. So that's what I've got in this video. Any questions, get them down below. Check out the description of this video because we have the free Discord as well, where we give out a couple of core plays and a few value plays for both Fanduel and DraftKings. So good luck today, and as always, bring home some bacon. Peace.